What's that? That's that week 10 feeling, you know that. It's getting close. 4 weeks left. 4 weeks left. Are you gonna make playoffs? Because if you listen to the show, you for sure gonna make playoffs. Welcome back to the High Stakes Takes podcast. You know, Moons got another spicy one for you. On this episode, we're gonna be covering Thursday night predictions. We got the latest injury news for the game. And then Scotland. How you let up the tie and goal in the 90th? Just blew a plus 380 bet. Come on. That is awful. So, got good stuff cooking up. Can't wait for the game tonight. Should be a high scoring game. I took Indy. It's going to be dicey. Tennessee's going to put up points. We just have to hope that Phillip Rivers actually throws the ball well and doesn't turn it over. If we get that and we get a solid run game, it's easy. It's easy money. And then we also got props on the table for you. Because guess what? It is almost game time. So, first lock we got Indy. Last time I looked, the spread was at 0. That shit was even. So, the over-under was at 48.5. One thing you have to look to, especially when you're putting in your bets, you have to be smart about it. When you look at it, if you see the spread change to even, where it's a 0, when it's a minus 110 odds, makes no sense picking money line when it's the same odds. Because if you pick money line and it goes to overtime or they do tie, you aren't going to win. Because money line, they have to win. There's no tie push. There's none of that. Especially when you pick them to win outright. So make sure you take the spread on minus 0. So if they do end up tying, you still get the push on the over. So that parlay's sitting at plus 260. That seems like a lock. You get T.Y. Hilton back. Mo Alley Cox is playing. So if you do or did pick up Trey Burton, it's more of a desperation play. I know I've been known to pick up a player just because he's playing on a Thursday night or a Sunday night or even Saturday games if and when we do get those. So I've been known to just pick players up just to watch them. I wouldn't do it. I've been smart over the past couple of years. I haven't been doing it as much. Been winning a little bit more. So that's more of a desperation play. If you have Kittle hurt and you didn't get Jordan Reed, I would play him. So it's looking dicey for Tennessee. You got Adam Humphries out. You got Corey Davis, who didn't really do much last week. And then the week before that, balled out. So it's really, you got a floor of 0 for Corey Davis. And then a ceiling of, 150 yards and a touchdown? It's dicey. You got Jonnu Smith and you got A.J. Brown. They're both going to do well because Indy will put up points. And Tennessee giving up 300 to Nick Foles, that's unheard of. Like, Nick Foles doesn't put up 300. And especially, you got Dory Jackson out. That's a key loss at cornerback. So, moving on to the prop bets. Derrick Henry. If you got him in fantasy, you have to play him because you selected him so high. But this week, I'm locking in the under 80.5. It might even change to 79 or 78 by the time kickoff happens. Indy's second versus the rush. That's huge. And last week, Derrick Henry only had 68 yards. Only put up 68 yards versus the Ravens. Yeah. I wouldn't. It's tough. When it comes to playoffs, even if you got a star player, you don't play him if you know he's going to do bad. And you know it's a bad matchup. So, it's really on you if you play him and he takes that L. Me, I might bench him if I have better options. I might play McKissick just based off his target share. That's something where I play risk reward right there. So And especially when you're trying to get wins in your league, if you got a below 500 record and you're about 2 games out, you know it hasn't been working all that often. You know, Derrick Henry, all the points he's been putting up, hasn't pushed you above the edge to get the wins. So when it comes down to it, play him if you feel safe. Indy's not safe for me. Second versus the rush. It's you got DeForest Buckner. Him in the middle, monster. So and last week he had 68 yards versus the Ravens, and then his long was 26 yards. So what does that mean? He had 20 rushes for 42 yards. That's 2.1 a carry. It's Ravens got a solid defense. Probably they say 12 versus the rush, but top 10 overall. And then you got Indy, who's out there, and they just put up numbers. They put up numbers every week on defense. It's dicey. So with Derrick Henry, him going up against the Bears last week and only putting up 68 yards, it's not looking good. So take Indy, take the over, take the under on his 80.5. If you got him in fantasy, play him, because there's not that much out there, especially if you're in like a 12-man league with maybe 2 quarterbacks. There's no way you're playing Derrick Henry. There's no way. He might salvage a touchdown, but I don't see Tannehill putting up yards like that. Tannehill's coming out, and this just moves right on to my next bet. The next prop is kind of like a fun prop to watch. Nothing you lock in and then get heated when it loses, or like be like, damn, how'd that lose? It's a risk reward. His over under on interceptions is 0.5. So if he throws 1 interception, even odds at plus 100, I'll take it. Indy's defense, top notch. And then you got Tannehill coming off a week versus the Bears where he 10 of 21 had 158 yards. It's not looking bright tonight for him. He might get a touchdown. He had 2 last week, even with that performance. And like, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Bears turning the ball over in their own field, you can't turn the ball over in your own half of the field and expect to win the game. It's just what it is. It's dicey. It's dicey. Not looking good for the Titans tonight. I can't wait for the game. I got Corey Davis on my bench. You could definitely sit him. If you picked up Jordan Wilkins and it's a desperation play him. But if you don't have to, don't just play him just for something to watch tonight. Like, and I got Indy's defense going. I can't wait to watch them. They only projected 5.5. Tannehill's over under on his passing touchdowns is 1.5. And those odds are sitting at minus 160. He's 19-3 on the year, touchdown to into ratio. But tonight, even at home, I wouldn't take it. And breaking news just today is kind of you want the good news or the bad news with McCaffrey. Good news, he might be back next week. Bad news, you missing him this week. Basically missed him all year besides week 1. Got some points from week 2, but besides that, it's kind of like a Michael Thomas. It's rough. It's rough, and I hope you got McKissick, because that boy is. Well, what is he gonna finish this week? RB. Let's see. RB9. If he has a touchdown in there, has at least 8 targets, catches 6 of them, and then rushes. Maybe get some rushes, 5 rushes, 30 yards. If he salvages a touchdown rushing, give him RB9. That boy has a chance to turn up versus Detroit. Can't wait. And week 10 is about to kick off. It's huge. 4 weeks is huge. Do not sleep on your waiver wire. Do not sleep on a High Stakes Takes podcast. 10 bets from Friday to Sunday. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I would have hit Scotland today. That would have been even more ridiculous. But if you checked out the last 2 minutes of the podcast, we got 2 straight minutes of just bets this year. It's stupid. And if you look at most of them, they're all plus odds. So you're winning more than you're losing. So we're locked in over here. We're loaded over here. We're ready to go. If you're tuning in, you're cashing out at the High Stakes Takes podcast. Give me one of them for them. And give me 2 of them for them. Artie Gz. We got Luke paid. I don't know when they gonna drop it on the podcast. Them boys are slacking. But we over here dropping content, dropping picks, making sure y'all are getting it in. Tune in. Dropping another podcast Saturday night. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow on Twitter. It's Robin, lowercase L, __. Because you know I'm the second. R.I.P. to Pops. My dog. And it's for you. Cash it out, boy.